Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Ajwritescrypto, and welcome to my second channel, Trade Crypto Today, where you get one single idea, one single chart, one single trade every single day. Yesterday on the show, I said this exact sentence: the bullish alarm to go long for Aster is $1.66. That was the single sentence. I just watched it word for word. That's what I said on the video yesterday. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, smash the like button, by the way. Now, we're at 197. This was the bullish alarm, 166 I gave you yesterday. We got to the first target, which was about a 7.7% trade. Bottom to top, this was a 30% move in 9 hours. And even if you're still in the trade, you're still up 19%. You're still up 19%. Aster, I hope, is short for astronaut, because this coin has just gone to the moon. You got to understand that hype is a DEX, and Aster is BNB's competitor to hype, and people like DEXs, and all the volume in the world is, they're fighting each other right now. And when you think the word volatility, think the word volume, because they both start with VOL. There's a reason for that, right? And when you look at the volume, obviously we can see the volatility. When you look at the volume, just look at Bitunix. It's where I do all my leverage trading on Bitunix. If you want to sign up for Bitunix, click the link down below. No VPN, no KYC, no BS. Best trade to leverage trade. Best place to leverage trade and to buy and hold crypto. But look, in terms of the most amount of volume on Bitunix, it goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Aster. Boom. Volume equals volatility. Aster has more trading volume than AVAX, than XRP, than Doge, than BNB, than AVNT. AVNT just gave a setup to the Telegram group AVNT yesterday. Also, OG, this new coin, up 20% today. The Telegram group is getting an OG setup today, right there. All right. So make sure if you want to join the Telegram group, send an email to ajalphagroup@gmail.com. Get those positions before I talk about them on this show 2 days later. All right. But Aster, we are going to do a different coin tomorrow, but we have to reevaluate the Aster chart, because obviously we pumped more than about 30% bottom to top from the long position I gave you yesterday. A couple days ago, when I gave you hype, I also talked about Aster. I gave you this bump and run short right here. From right here to right here was the target. 18% target, worked out in 8 hours. Top to bottom, it was a 30% trade short. So we nailed this. And then we went long from 166 to here, 30% trade long. We nailed this. We're 2 for 2 on 30% moves in less than 24 hours. Let's set up the chart here on Aster so you have the next alarm to react to make the next correct trade, because we have not missed on this coin yet. All right. Please subscribe to the new channel, by the way. All right. So let's get rid of all this other stuff. We can get rid of the bump and run. All right. We nailed the bump and run. All right. We can get rid of the squiggles. We'll get rid of the lines, get rid of the circles. So we have this uptrend. We're going to keep this uptrend. All right, that's this yellow one here. We're going to keep that. All right. Now let's let's define the great lines here. Let's define the parameters. So of course we have to alarm the new high. Okay, that's thing number one. That's at 216.2. All right, 216.2. Okay. Now let's also define this support resistance level. It's kind of weird because I want to go from this previous the wick of this candle from back here, and that kind of aligned with the body of this candle from this recent rejection, but I'm not going to go from there. I'm actually going to go from the wick of this candle here. I'm going to set that at 20. Actually, that's at 205. Let's type that in, 205. So 205 would be a continuation bullish alarm, because that would have cleared the previous high. So once it came down from this level here, it wasn't able to get back above 205, and it's down 5% from that level over the past 5 hours and 45 minutes. And what we have to appreciate here, that on this 23-minute chart, for the most part, the 50 EMA stop and go has been the bullish continuation story for Aster. And it hasn't put in a lower high yet on this uptrend here until the most recent little battle here, which would be this. So now we can draw this pennant and determine this point of intersection. Okay, and this point of intersection is tomorrow at basically 3 in the morning. So by 3 in the morning on the West Coast Wednesday, Aster will be forced to either break out of this miniature downtrend or break down of this longer term uptrend. Generally, the longer term trend line tends to hold more of the time. But if the longer term trend line breaks, it's a bigger trade. Those are rule of thumb. Okay. And also we have targets to go off of already from the bullish alarms we set. 178 would be a target. 166 would be a target right here. 157, 145. These are all short targets if the bottom falls out on Aster here. But what would be my short alarm? Well, you have to like kind of also take into consideration. Let me kind of spread the chart a little bit better here. So that this thing already has dipped from this level to the little local low here. This is 190. Okay, let's add that alarm. 190. And we can see that right here, it bounced off of 190, right? And then came up, and then it bounced off of it again. And then we had this little dip. And what percent was that little dip? Just that right there, from here to here. That's about 4.5%. And if you know anything about leverage trading, 4.5% ain't bad. 4.5%, I mean, it's not no 30% back to back 2 days in a row, but 4.5%, 4.5%. And I am all for setting that idea up. So short alarm 190. Target number 1 is the previous low. So it actually would add an additional level here at 180.18. 1818. Okay. So here's the scenario. Let's change the trend lines. Let's make the trend lines bigger and make them blue. Okay. So that here we have the shorter term downtrend facing the longer term uptrend. They're not the same shade of blue. I'm also very colorblind and guessing. Okay. Looks the same to me. And then they're probably not. And so we have the pennant. We know the point of intersection. And we also are aware that this idea, if the 190 goes off, we can short 190 into 181. But even if we do that short, we are still inside of this uptrend. It's very important to point out that 190 down to 181 right now would still be inside of the uptrend and is a riskier trade. Whereas if we get to here, if we break down and then 181 goes off, or if even 178.8 goes off, that would be breakdown confirmation and is a safer trade overall. So generally speaking, scalp short alarm 190, breakout long confirmation alarm 205, and you can see all the other alarms and take profit levels on your screen. Screenshot that, put all of those alarms and the trend lines on your own chart. I won't always go back to the same chart 2 days in a row. I won't dip in unless it's happening like this, and it's a must talk about, must trade thing, because when you see this type of volume on Bitunix, it might not have more trading volume than Avalanche and XRP forever. This might only last a week or so, or it might stay, we don't know. But while there is that much volume on this chart, is when you need to target this volatility, target this volume, and what this thing is going to continue to kick and scream. And those kicks and screams are long and short scalps that we win all the time. So set those alarms, trade crypto today. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all the things. If you want to join my Telegram Alpha group, send an email to ajalphagroup@gmail.com. And if you want to join the new No Sweat Bets Polymarket Telegram group, send the same email to that same email address. But if you're already a member of the original Telegram group, you get 50% off on the Polymarket one. Got a new website coming soon. Got a bunch of things. Been working on the book. Got a bunch of really good videos, scripts, ideas. Got a lot coming on this channel here. Really appreciate you guys. Almost 500 subs in less than a week. It hasn't even been a week yet, so we'll be able to say it in a week, but let's get there. Thank you all. Smash the like button. Get rich or get wrecked. And don't forget to trade crypto today. Peace.